My name is Chen Song, a temporary worker of the 2nd Provincial Hospital, who gave up his studies due to poverty. Suddenly, my fate was changed by an unknown system. Cleaning and changing medicine +1. Experience in changing medicine +5. Huaxia coin +100 yuan. Whether to accept, I directly said yes. As a result, I was woken up. The nurse beauty ran and shouted at me to get up quickly. I thought it was a dream. However, when the system prompted again, the balance in my mobile phone actually really changed a lot. I did not think that actually really bring out the system in the online game. I thought to save money. Bay. Who knows that encountered this FOTC 12 level of rare rotten monster wrapped around my neck. Mouth tenderly said, "Small doctor, how can you bear to kill my slave?" I coughed lightly. No matter how good looking she is still a disease. She must be eliminated immediately. Just when I was determined, this beauty appeared again. She asked me to be gentle. She was afraid of pain. In the end, I wasn't shy at all. Only children make choices. Adults, of course, want them all. Inside the 2nd People's Hospital, a man is spat at by his colleagues. Work really does make you stupid. The operating theater is lit up, and the doctors are talking about the patient's condition. The patient is suffering from acute appendicitis. The deputy director of the hospital has given the man a job as his deputy, and he will be in charge of this operation. The man Chen Song finally waited for this day. Must be completed properly, but he was just about to operate, but found himself transported to the patient's body. He opened the door. That is the target this time. This is also to online game, right? Sure enough, the charming beauty in front of him is exactly for the rare appendix monster of level 12. Small doctor, are you here to seek death? Chen Song had to come out brightly. I'm here to kill you. So beautiful, pity. The beauty flashed to his side, look evil in his ear breathing, followed by her suddenly stick out her tongue, gently licking the man's earlobe. The tone became a little shy. How can the little doctor? After seeing this scene, Chen Song kept spewing out nosebleeds, but the look on his face was that he would rather die than submit to it. The appendix monster hooked up his chin again. Little doctor, why don't you submit to me and be under my skirt? I didn't expect him to have some willpower. He said fiercely that he had already said that I am here to kill you. The appendix monster is not flirting with the little handsome boy. The face of the grim attack on him. She suddenly launched the appendix skills. The small doctor. The show has just begun. When Chen Song saw the attack, his body dodged it deftly. At this time by the foreign energy attack place, blood-colored energy gradually put it caress corrosion. Hiding all the time is too exhausting. Appendicitis attack time will be very fast. We must deal with her as soon as possible. Chen Song quickly put his hands together and kneeled down as if his legs were weak. Lord Appendix, I was wrong. She looked at the little doctor's good behavior, satisfied to sit back in the position. Really, you know what to do. Of course I want to do this. My massage techniques are very good. Why don't you let me try? It seems that when she lets her guard down, I can kill her with one blow. He looked evil and walked to the back, lifting his palms and rubbing them together helplessly. It's an L. He quickly pulls out a scalpel and cuts viciously at the appendage monster's neck. She reacted instantly backward, angrily stretching out her fingers. You dare to lie to me, but her body has long been bleeding, incomparably weak, and fell to the ground. Why did she lose? Chen Song has long been not the previous self. For the sake of your master's health, you leave. Can be considered to solve the trouble after his trouser leg was actually a small hand to catch, only to see below several small fat, well-behaved stand in a row. Sticky to the doctor, thank you. This is what I should do. If everything is cleared, you will be cured. Sure enough, cause complications, abdominal abscess, but fortunately not much cleanup on the line. The abscess looks like a giant mushroom. Looked painful by the doctor dug out. Until the operation was successful, he also obtained the task reward accordingly. Chen Song stunned holding the scalpel. Can't believe that his life is really hanging on. He immediately dodged to the ward, seriously treating the patient with leg injuries. Chen Song hurriedly picked up his mobile phone to check. The text message is indeed a wicked increase of 100 yuan. These things are actually true. I did not expect to really get online gaming system, that they cannot get the favor of beautiful women, that I buy a house in the future to marry a daughter-in-law PR. After Chen Song some panic, colleagues seemed to quarrel with people. I go to see the situation. He quickly ran outside. What happened there? The family held their baby daughter. I do not want you to say, you give me a new doctor. But the doctor told the family to shut up. Hospitals are no place for you to make a scene. The family stood up and said, what kind of attitude is this? Is this the kind of hospital you have? The doctor had to tell her to file a complaint. But if your child is delayed, I'm afraid he'll have to be infected and have his leg amputated. Chen Song witnessed the whole process, then flashed to the family in front of the child's wound. should be sutured as soon as possible. But the family wouldn't let it go, saying that their child better be fine, or else they would report him too. At this time, Song received a system mission and told Qing Yu not to worry. He would solve the problem. Although the patient's family was not easy to deal with, the child was very good and cooperated with the treatment. As expected, Chen Song teleported into the body again, but the skin nerves were very dense and the child was very sensitive. I had to use my sewing skills, and it was easy to get through. Is this a god-level skill? After I perfected everything, I found myself rewarded again. The system is really humane. The little girl happily thanked the doctor uncle. He said no need to thank, but he is a brother. At this time in the emergency room, he was pinching the face of a beautiful woman, causing her to look incredibly impatient. Then he gently softened the hair of the beautiful girl. The old director taught us before. The doctor's duty is to save lives. Qing Yu doesn't think so. I'm a hard-working doctor. Why should I look at other people's faces? Probably because we are doctors. They are full of attacks or just afraid of death. She patted Chen Song's shoulder. I can't see that our Dr. Chen has a high level of thinking. She waved her hand helplessly, although she was still angry. But thank you for today. At this time, the hospital downstairs small noodle shop. I am very happy today. You will casually eat full. The deputy director of the quietly come forward. Recently there may be personnel mobilization, although most of the establishment recruit doctoral students. You undergraduate graduates squeeze your head, may not have the opportunity to do so. But the contract system is also good performance. Work more or more, better than a fixed salary. I handed the director a bottle of water. The hospital has a lot of temporary workers. I do not think there are many places. I am a roll doll with no background. Chen Song saw the boss go, decisively took out his mobile phone, transferred his small savings to the boss. As expected, the boss rushed over with his mobile phone. Chen Song, what do you mean? He had to say that he had no connections and only had so much money, so he wanted the boss to help him. The boss angrily returned the money transfer. Where did you learn this evil way? Who taught you to do this? The boss was about to leave in a rage, but realized that he still had to explain to him. I patted him on the shoulder and said, my words are a bit heavy. Don't take them to heart, but treating patients and saving lives is different and requires excellent professional skills. Starting tomorrow, I will arrange for you to be the chief surgeon. Go back and prepare well. Don't let me down. Chen Song is suddenly full of energy. I will work hard. Boss, it seems that I am one step closer to getting a job. The hospital is having a meeting. The head of the hospital wants to settle the contracts of the temporary workers, so we'll try to get regular jobs. Song received a new mission, and the reward was Li Baoshen's medical skills. His surgeries never failed. He's crazy about surgeries. Everyone else is looking forward to fewer patients, but he's looking forward to surgeries every day. But boss has already negotiated for him to do all the patients in Qing Yu's department. Boss is really the best. Most of her patients are traumatized, so it's a good opportunity to practice his suturing skills. At this time, Qing Yu's clinic. I didn't expect all the patients to be big men. He had to go in to help, and just when he was about to open his mouth to help them stop the bleeding, he held his words back. The tattooed man says he's afraid of pain. He wants a female doctor to help him treat it. Dr. Qing is too busy. I'll stop your bleeding first. After all, blood is still quite precious. The tattooed man rubbed up, looked down on Pegel. Right, we one person aka first drinking. Dull-haired man gazed disdain. You are simply dirt. Blood is transfused into it. The tattooed man cursed him. I'm thirsty. I want to drink a little bit of it. Chen Song huffed and puffed and turned his head. Just happened to see Dr. Qing. Sister, this is a group of what immortals. He explained that blood is not expensive but important. You are now losing too much blood. It will be life-threatening. The tattooed man laughed. This small doctor said I have life-threatening. I have never seen what's seen. The tattooed man is a bit upset. Doctor, first stop my bleeding and sew me up. I have lost a lot of blood. The hairy man is also very upset. His eyes fierce pouting. Why you first? I do not see this little doctor. Be careful when the time comes to put your big tattoos sewed into a worm. The tattooed man looked fiercely towards the door. Losing money cannot lose the aura. Follow up. But Chen Song has already received the task. Then this person must be left no matter what. The tattooed man pretended to be in pain. Doctor, look at my arm. How can I cure it? Due to frequent injuries to the arm, back and forth stitches into this bird. Doctor, I'm here. Dragon can still save it. He kept looking carefully. After watching, the dragon can still be salvaged again. With what scratch? The tattooed man is embarrassed to touch his head. You just saw that person, but I did not suffer a loss. Chen Song felt very speechless. He pushed the treatment box towards the front. Don't move, I'll stitch you up first. Sure enough, he teleported into the patient again, but the stitching was too rough. He had to climb to the top of the wound and carefully cut open the old wound to make it open again. He quickly stepped aside and carefully and thoughtfully closed the open wound. His sharpness and sewing experience had increased quite a bit, so it was true that he still had to do more quests to improve quickly. But the scene in front of him shocked him. Does this system still have this function? Is it exploding equipment? The dragon in front of him leapt into the air. Human, thank you. He watched the dragon gradually go away. Really, the system really burst equipment. These rewards are really quite generous. The tattooed man's wound was also stitched up. He was as happy as an 18-year-old boy. He took out an heirloom ring. Master, thanks to you today, repairing the dragon will take thousands of dollars. Chen Song hurriedly waved his hand. No need to be polite to me. I just do the most basic stitching. The tattooed man beeped in dissatisfaction. His big hand silently withdrew. The doctor does not accept that, forget it. But it took away the doctor's mobile phone, saying that it couldn't help but repay him for his kindness. Afterwards, he returned the mobile phone to him. In the future, in Dama village encountered things. A phone call I guarantee to arrive. Qing Yu's eyes picking wiping. You sir, big brother is very good. Look at his happy look. She nodded with satisfaction. Then don't say my sister doesn't take care of you. In the future, such as this will be reserved for you. I can't imagine that this little doctor is quite good at fixing tattoos along with wounds. However, Chen Song and his team stared at the patient in front of them with a serious look. They quickly ran over to the patient, who was bleeding profusely. What happened? The police said his wrist tendon was badly damaged, so he was transferred to the second hospital for treatment. Director Li is not in the hospital. Other doctors are in surgery. I'm going to suture Dr. Qing to help me. The patient can move his hand. He even thinks he's lost it. The blood flow in the patient's hand was poor, and the transfer was delayed for some time. Multiple injuries to the wrist tendons. Now the blood vessels must be sutured immediately, followed by tendon suturing, but it requires a high level of skill. I expect a 50% success rate. Do you still want to do it? This is where the system comes in. With the system's help, the recovery rate goes way up. It just so happens that his suturing skills are intermediate. And with his skills, the patient can return to normal. But Qing Yu hurriedly opened the patient's bandage. The scene in front of her shocked her beyond words. The patient's tendon damage in his arm is very big. Once the adhesion occurs, it will be a problem to eat and hold chopsticks. Chen Song said he understands, but it can't save the patient, and he is now 80% sure. How can 80% be possible? Even the director may not be able to perform such a difficult operation. But he turned around calmly and answered her with certainty that he could do it. He skillfully picked up the instruments and operated on the flexor tendon, the superficial flexor tendon, and the extensor tendon of the thumb. The patient's nerves have been partially lost, but the patient must have the willpower to survive. Qing Yu told the patient not to worry. Dr. Chen was still very confident in suturing tendons. The patient, however, told the doctor to let go and do it. He knows his own hand in his heart, and it doesn't matter if he can't recover. Chen Song smiled gently. Don't worry, I can sew it up for you. I guarantee that you will recover. Obviously, the captain is not at ease. His team members are injured in the mission, so we must invite experts to treat them.